And welcome back, everyone. I'm going to be having to do this, at least for these types of videos, that kind of cold black intro, just because I've got to, if I can't figure things out, that's the only way I can get myself to function on the camera. Yeah, so She-Hulk, episode 3. We came, we saw, we went, we conquered, and Megan Thee Stallion. I made it. Is it Megan Thee Stallion? I think it's Megan Thee Stallion, right? I know of her. Hold on. Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, Megan Thee Stallion. But yeah, and Megan Thee Stallion makes an appearance. So what do I think about this one? Well, quickly, my thoughts again on the first two. I already gave them in the previous review, but again, real quick. The first episode, I think, is actually the best one so far. It had a few minor issues, but it's all well and good. Second one I liked, but I thought there were some pacing issues, structure issues, and we still weren't getting a really good grasp of what the story overall was going to be. This episode is good. I think I still like the first episode the best, but this is a good fall. This is now going on the right pace. It's got a good tone. It's basically just a procedural. Hopefully we'll see more cases than just the Abomination case. She won the case, so we'll be seeing more of those. We now got a little bit more of the story of the mystery. Who's the boss? Who wants her blood? And we got just some good jokes. I would kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion. I'll take back it up. The elf, the B plot. Oh God, the light elf. I get it. This is who you are, but do you get the impression that even in New Asgard, they're like, okay, just chill, stop it. You might be thinking this is funny. You're really disrupting our lives. You're really disrupting lives and hurting people, emotionally a lot. Seriously. The elf just doing all this shit, and just kind of messing with people just for the sake of it. Lady, chill. I get Loki's the god of mischief, and that he would be doing that regularly also, but chill. Don't catfish someone to their face. You think they were hooking up? You think he was actually thought he was banging the real Megan and oh no, I was banging this old elf chick. No, I have a feeling she was not letting him get that far. And I like the fact that douchebag is still showing back up, and he kind of got hung out to dry a little bit there and say, oh yeah, in my experience, he is a narcissistic, he's totally dumb enough and conceited enough to believe he was dating the real Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, there's only one Megan Thee Stallion. I actually really like that. You knew where it was going, but it's still pretty funny the way they pulled it off. I like the Abomination stuff, the fact that his soulmates are not the Thunderbolts yet. These are my better eights. Yep, it's hey. And the transformation sequence up, as you can see, I'm perfectly in control, and just takes off his Crocs as I want to destroy him. And Wong, man, I've heard some people are a little mixed on the Wong stuff. The Wong stuff was funny, man. I don't just because Wong is a great straight man comedian. He's a great straight man comedian because he's very much serious about his own stuff, while kind of being oblivious to how the world works to some degree. And we learned he was a Target manager for 9 years. But he's still got a solid. His comedic timing is really good. Just but you did confess to aiding and abetting the release of a wanted criminal. I must depart. So Wong's a wanted fugitive now. So I did like that as well. I did like that. Is there anything that stood out to me that I didn't like? I think I should get that right away. Because honestly, while I liked the post-credit scene, I wasn't enamored with it like so many other people were. And I've heard some people actually didn't like the post-credit scene. And I didn't hate it. It was a funny post-credit scene. But, yeah, whatever. It's fine. Is there anything I did not like? I think one thing that stands out to me that I did not like, and it's not even I did not like, is I noticed it, but I was, and only in certain scenes, but I was able to get past it after a while. The CGI on She-Hulk did not look the best this episode. It hasn't been top-notch stellar CGI at all, but in the first episode, I thought it looked fairly fine in the first episode. Not amazing, but fine. Bruce looked a lot better, but that's because they've had a lot more time, I think, to work with Bruce and the Hulk on their CGI. But yeah, it looks fine. In the second episode, it looked fine. The third episode, particularly when she's walking and having the conversation with her paralegal, her friend, Nancy, was this? I can't remember her name, but that's what I'm like really noticing. Like, ooh, that the render. Ooh. But I'm ignoring because I'm like, okay, focus on the show, focus on the character. And then when I did that, I'm like, okay, I'm back to ignoring it now. Great, but yeah, it stood out to me. And then the introducing of the wrecking crew. What, you were just robbed like an Asgardian construction worker? Yeah. And obviously now we got at least a part of what She-Hulk's story is going to kind of be. The mystery. Who's the boss? Who wants She-Hulk's blood? I've heard a number of theories. I've heard Kingpin, maybe. I don't believe Kingpin. I've heard Ten Rings. Definitely don't believe that, because whoever it is probably doesn't have a huge amount of resources to be using the wrecking crew or just these thugs with Asgardian working tools. So my best guesses right now. There is Hood, who apparently in the comics is like their boss and is one of their big bosses, and is going to be revealed. It's going to be shown. It's going to be like the villain in Ironheart. So Hood is one of them. But the big one, Valentina, is another one. Could she be wanting her own Hulk? If you can't get Blonsky, maybe she can try to make her own Hulk. Maybe. I get a feeling, though, it's probably not Valentina, because I have a feeling she's just going to go straight for Emil and work out a deal with him. And that's where Thunderbolts will come in a bit more readily. I get the feeling it's the leader. I think we're going to see Tim Blake Nelson back again. We knew Abomination was around. We know Leader's around. But we haven't seen those actors for over 15 years. Hulk was 2018? Or 2008, sorry. Almost 15 years. 14 years we haven't seen those guys. And now we finally get Tim Roth back, who's just a joy. God. He's one of those just underrated character actors. He doesn't normally lead any, like a film, although there was that show he did, Lie to Me, they led. No, I watched some of it, and I liked it. I just fell off. I had other things to do. But it would make sense. I've heard a lot of people say it, and it makes sense. He's a part of the Hulk lore. We know he's out there. And he was studying Bruce's blood. He said, I want that. It was godlike. That is a motivation of the leader. He wants that, not just the intelligence. He wants all of it. So that might, in theory, that might be how this season ends, with him ultimately getting what he kind of wants, becoming a bit of a souped-up version of the leader. Maybe not an Incredible Hulk version of leader, but someone to really give She-Hulk a legitimate challenge. And She-Hulk ultimately beats him. And then when she has to represent him in court of law. Wouldn't that be so poetic? But yeah, I have a feeling right now my guess is the leader. That's who I think it is. By the way, I have a feeling this is not the last time we're going to see the Wrecking Crew, I believe. I'm pretty certain. I have a feeling that scene you see in the trailer where Daredevil shows up to help She-Hulk, I have a feeling he ended up kicking the crap out of the Wrecking Crew. I have a feeling that's what that was. We'll find out, though. Overall, though, I do like this episode. It does have some issues. Yeah, like, right now, I'm still... This Jen we got in this episode, I think, is the most likable we've had Jen overall in the series so far. Because there's been no... That's not entirely true. There's been a little bit of bitching and moaning. But unlike prior, which at least it was understandable in the first two episodes... But when she started ripping into Bruce, I'm like, she's crossing a line, and I don't think she realizes that she's just angry about the situation. And she hasn't grasped her situation yet, is the problem. And I think at the end of this last episode, I think you finally see her kind of coming to terms a little bit with that realization of, this is my life now. I'm a Hulk, yeah, and I thought I could have a balance, but no, people are going to apparently come after me, and... Oh, God. Like, you kind of see it starting to set in for her in the end of this last episode. So, we'll see if they can keep building on that. Because if they can keep building on that into her new normal, her new reality, and what she's going to have to kind of come to terms with, it will, I think, make up for the callous nature of her in the first episode. I brought it up in the way I'm not going to bring it up again for a in-depth reason because I'll just be repeating myself. But I brought up in the first 2 episode reviews that I wasn't digging. I liked her as a character. She was very fun and quirky and all, but I didn't love her, and it became from that callous, almost superiority that she approached Bruce with about it, like controlling her anger and why she, like, and again, I'm not going to go into, you want to hear what I thought about that, go watch the first 2 episode reviews. But yeah, like they haven't, and then ripping it as he even says, you can think you can say all those mean things and just leave. It's like, yeah, it's like, she still hasn't really, like, she apologized, but she backhandedly apologized. Like, I'm sorry for what I said, even though it's true. I'm like, wow, bitch. Like, you can call me out, you can call me sexist, but whatever. Bitch. No, like, you don't get that. Just like you would call a guy who did that bastard. Like a dickhead, an ass. Bitch, like, no. Look, if this were a non-superhuman scenario, it would play out differently. Let me be very clear about that. And someone brought up in the comments, too, that, now I'm going off on it, but whatever. Someone brought up in the comments that if she had been talking to any other male Avenger, she would have had a much stronger argument, would probably have been close to, if not 100% right. But the problem is she's talking to the Hulk, her cousin, who she knows, who she should theoretically know, being his cousin, what he went through. Like, I'm sorry, you crossed the line, and you might think you was like, oh yeah, I do it far more often than you do. I'm better at it than you. Yeah, like, oh, different, like better. Like, get off your high horse. You are not better than him. Right. I'm just gonna tell you right now, you're not better than the Hulk. You're not better than Bruce. So anyway, I digress. I hope we start to see, because we're only a third of the way through these seasons so far, and I'm liking the fact we got 9 episodes. I think we had 8 with WandaVision, and now we have 9 with this. So I like the fact that we're gonna get 18 with Daredevil Reborn or Born Again. So like I'm liking the fact that they're actually giving us more episodes of series. Anyway, I digress. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. What did you think of this current episode of She-Hulk? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you find it so-so? What did you like about it? What did you hate about it? Let us know in the comments below. Let's have a fun conversation. Until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I've got to pre-record my what if for tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to really do much tomorrow because I got to go to a wedding. Until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later.